Do you have a data science interview coming up? My name is Janelle, and I'm an analytics engineer in tech, and I spent the last 6 years as a data scientist. So here's how I prep for the interviews. Some people practice for days, weeks, or months. You need to do what works for you. You got this. I know you do. A lot of data science interviews follow the same order, so you'll have a recruiter call or screen, hiring manager interview, technical, and then the full loop. Now, I want to get into the technical first. Typically, they'd ask you to use SQL or Python. I encounter SQL 80% of the time. For SQL, make sure you have the foundations down. Select, from, where, having, group by, order by. Think critically about what kinds of joins you need to use. Is it an inner join? Is it a left join or a right join? Think about union versus union all. Consider some of the window functions like row number versus rank versus dense rank. Then you want to get to some more advanced techniques like cumulative sums, running total, deduplicating data, CTEs, subquery. In addition to the technique, you need to know how to apply these to business problems. So typically they'd start off a question with one table and you need to do some filtering. Then the next question would introduce another table and you have to figure out what's a way to join these two and filter in a way that makes sense. My favorite resources for the SQL prep were the LeetCode SQL 50 and Data Lemur especially. LeetCode helps with the technique, but Data Lemur brings in the business context. Next, they'll ask a lot of probability and stats. Make sure you brush up on statistics. Understand hypothesis testing, difference between a null and an alternative hypothesis. Clearly articulate what a p-value is and when you would reject your null. Think about the difference between a type 1 and a type 2 error. Also remember different statistical tests, a t-test versus a z-test, and when you would use one versus the other. That is going to become important for experiment design. Next, we're in the product or case framework. They may ask questions like, why did this metric drop? How would you measure the success of a new feature? This is what got me the most. You have to develop product sense. And I use the case framework a lot. First, clarify. You can ask questions like, what metrics matter or who are the user? Then the approach. Break this problem down into buckets. Think about the data, think about some root causes, especially if this is a question on a metric change. Then the strategy. How are you going to design an experiment? Do you have a control group and a test group? Are you controlling for confounding factors? Finally, evaluate. If you found that after the feature launch, you saw a 10% lift in engagement, do you then say, let's roll out the feature? Or are you going to dig deeper? Are there metric trade-offs? Did one improve while one declined? You need to think about some real-world conversations that you would have with a product team after you run this experiment. Finally, and probably one of the most important things to prep is the behavioral. I think sometimes people underestimate how important this is, but it's so key. Use the STAR framework. One thing that can truly set you apart is how well you can explain and articulate your experiences. First, the situation. How did this come about? Did someone ask you a question? Were you proactive and saw a common problem? Then the task. Explain